Welcome to The Deep Dive, your weekly cultural journey into the new world of tokenized art. Artists, people, businessmen, politics. It's the place to be.
Virtual reality.
Non-fungible token.
I'm going to Disney World!
Metaverse. NFT.
Who, how, when, why. We'll tell you everything in The Deep Dive. And if in The Deep Dive we're becoming familiar with the notions of blockchains, cryptocurrencies, and NFTs, here is the least cryptic and probably the most pop crypto project you're likely to hear about. Vivi. Let's break it down in The Deep Dive. So, Vivi is a digital collectibles exchange platform whose parent company is Ecomi, based in Singapore and created in 2017 by three guys: Daniel Crothers, Joseph Janik, and David Yu. Vivi's goal is simple: to allow its users to collect these hyper-stylish 3D figurines or readable comic books through their mobile application, all in the form of NFTs.
Wanting to build this digital idea of digital collectible, this NFT industry that we're in, using the blockchain.
But unlike the usual platforms, Vivi has a few fundamental features. And the first one is that on Vivi you can collect NFTs without knowing anything about crypto.
What do you mean by that?
And if this seems contradictory to you, it's a feat that the Ecomi teams have achieved by creating a completely self-sufficient marketplace.
It's truly unique. It has multiple moving parts.
Yes, collectors convert their money into gems, which is the currency of the application they use to buy NFTs instead of cryptocurrencies, without relying on the usual exchange platforms. But this is still a crypto project, because behind it all there's a token, the OMI, managed by the Ecomi blockchain, named after the company, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
And the app's platform itself manages the transaction process between the token and the gems, sparing the users the occasional inhibiting aspect of conversions between different wallets.
How convenient is that?
Vivi thus opens the path to collecting digital art and NFTs to a wider audience that didn't necessarily intend to be interested in cryptocurrencies. And as for the value of the gem, it's hard to get much simpler. Exit the cumbersome calculations and conversions to the third decimal of the dollar. One gem equals $1.
Wow, how convenient is that?
But most of all, Vivi is a unique platform because it is the first, and for the moment the only one, to sell NFTs under license in partnership with the most powerful franchises in pop culture. After having acquired the rights to the DC Comics catalog with superheroes such as Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman, Vivi then concluded deals with brands such as Warner Brothers, Universal Studios, Cartoon Network, and more recently Disney, which is no less than the world's largest entertainment company, thus giving themselves the opportunity to produce official collectibles based on the most iconic and bankable pop figures on the market.
We found a way, with licensors to bring them alive through this NFT that we know of today.
And here is a non-exhaustive list of Vivi-compatible names: James Bond, The Joker, The Simpsons, Jurassic Park, Aladdin, Marty McFly, Wolverine, Avengers, Ghostbusters, you name it. In a nutshell, nerd's paradise.
The power of fandom is what our whole business is about.
If all this was possible, it's above all thanks to one man. This man, who in one way or another has impacted your youth or your relationship to culture: Alfred Kahn.
Who?
And if his name or his face doesn't mean anything to you, his work will certainly speak to you. Because under his simple looks, this businessman is no more and no less than the person responsible for the arrival in the West of licenses like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon.
Pikachu!
In other words, a man of influence.
Al had so many good connections in the world of licensing. A lot of the people that we were talking to had, previously worked underneath Al and really saw Al as like as an inspiration.
An accessible system, an incredibly rich catalog, headliners that speak to all generations. In short, all the conditions are there to allow Vivi to become one of the major players in the NFT revolution and to establish itself as, let's say, the Netflix of the non-fungible token.
And you get that audience responding, then it gives you a sense of where you are in terms of how this thing's going to go.
And of course, NFT means scarcity. And here again, Vivi has figured it out, with a gradation system of rarity ranging from common to secret rare, with in between uncommon, rare, or ultra rare. The platform rewards the most persistent collectors.
And if you miss out one of our drops, you can scroll through our marketplace and participate in the secondary market and purchase what you're missing.
By relying on the emotional appeal of franchises that have proven their worth in the traditional collectibles world, and by succeeding in partnering with the most powerful companies in the entertainment industry, Vivi is aiming to bring the general public and a very large part of pop culture to a medium that is still largely unknown, but that we know is the future: NFT. Well, the deep dive is over for today. See you next week for a new dive into the tokenized world.